So I think, as far as I know, turn around, back, coffee spot, sorted. Right then, where's Sujatha? Jeremy, would you like to say something before we close off this event? Jeremy Reese is a volunteer at the VSO, and he's also a good friend of mine from Radio Cardiff, and he's a bit of a blues man, and I like my own, but we do share the odd artist every now and then, don't we? In a musical sense, in a radio sense, that is. So Jeremy, would you like to make a speech?
Well, I don't know about a speech, but I'll say a few words. Thank you very much, Scott. First of all, I just want to apologise for the fact that I've only caught the last couple of performances and words here. I wish I'd been able to be here earlier, because it is so inspiring to listen to people share their gratitude for the people who've shown them the path. When I was travelling here today, I was thinking about mentors in my life, and the truth is that throughout my life, people have appeared from time to time and have shown me a different way, a different path. And I'm very, very grateful to all of them. But there's one in particular that I'd like to pay tribute to tonight. And he's a man called Jack Hughes. When I was a boy, when I was a little lad at school, I was probably most likely to be voted the person least likely to succeed. I really was very, very poor at school, at academia. It did not suit me. This was a bit of a shame, because I came from a background where both my parents were school teachers, and they had great aspirations for me. They wanted me to go to Cambridge and pass with flying colours and be top of the class. And I was really not very good at all. Really not very good. It wasn't until I was 40 that I was diagnosed with dyspraxia, which I'd never heard of. I don't think it existed when I was at school. But nonetheless, there I was at school. I was not very good at anything. I was not very good at sport. I was not very good at music. I was not very good at sums. I just wasn't very good. And so I left school at the age of 16 with nothing but a school leaving certificate and not a lot of hope, to be honest. And I had a couple of dead-end jobs. I worked in a cooked meat factory, and I was an egg packer in a battery egg place. And it was just really quite miserable. And what changed my life was the thing that fills my life these days, and that's volunteering. Because I started volunteering for what in those days was called a night shelter for homeless people. And in that night shelter, I met Jack. And Jack pointed out to me something which had never been pointed out to me before. And that was that I was really quite good in this role as a volunteer. I was able to communicate with some of the people that were using the night shelter in a way that helped them. I was very surprised at this, and I was encouraged by what Jack told me, because he saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself. He saw that I had the ability to communicate. Scott was talking about communication earlier on. I thought I was a terrible communicator, but I learned that because I'm interested in people, because I can sit and listen to somebody for a long time, properly listen to them, that's actually very helpful. And I learned that through Jack, because that's what he did with me. He sat me down and he talked with me about what he saw, things that I couldn't see in myself. And he inspired me to do things that I didn't feel I had the capability of doing. To go and train, to learn, and to build up my skills in a particular area. And I did that. And I went from being a young boy, 16, 17 years of age, who felt really like a no-hoper, to somebody who was inspired and enthused by something in life for the first time. And that was actually thanks to Jack. And thanks to Jack, I found myself applying for courses, learning, and then getting paid work eventually. 18, 19, that became my focus in life. And he did well, did Jack, because by the time I was 25, I was actually managing a mental health rehabilitation unit for Hammersmith and Fulham Council. I was one of the youngest managers, certainly in that council, possibly in London at that time. A few years later, I was managing a whole department that looked after residential and daycare. And that was something I'm saying to you now, not because it's something that I feel boastful about, but I just want to acknowledge the fact that just a few years earlier, that would have seemed to me completely out of my reach. I felt like I was somebody destined to spend my life doing mundane, day-to-day jobs and not having any focus in life. Because Jack saw something in me that I couldn't see in myself and took the time to sit down with me and point those things out, he changed the way I thought about myself. He opened my mind. And I hope he taught me something that I've been able to carry on in a small way in my own life. Because I believe that every one of us has a really unique gift. I don't believe anybody is hopeless. But sometimes it's very difficult for us to access that hope. And sometimes it needs somebody else sitting across from us to point out those qualities that we can't see in ourselves, to inspire us to go and do the very best for ourselves and for other people. So I'm really, really delighted to be here tonight and feel really honoured that Sujata and the team at the Mentoring have invited me to come here this evening. I think the Mentoring is doing something which is greatly, greatly needed, because it's giving some focus, some space and some time to that very simple human thing of sitting down with another person, acknowledging them and encouraging them to do the best, be the best person they can be. Thank you very much for listening to me. I shall hand the microphone back to my radio colleague here, Mr. Scott.
Thank you very much, Jeremy.